Welcome to Red Door Conversations, Real Talk and Realty. I am Tana Young, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Kimberly Dixon-Dudley.
Hello, hello.
Lisa White.
Good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
I know we're still we're stuck in morning sometimes.
Right.
And Mala Lewis.
Well, hello there. How y'all doing?
Great. We are doing
Exceptional.
wonderful. Yes,
Good.
doing wonderful. We got another great show, but we always have great shows. But today, guys, we are talking about hot real estate careers. Because I think when everyone thinks of where should I go in real estate, they automatically think real estate agent. Mm-hmm. But no, there are tons of real estate careers that you can choose from. And so on the show today, we're going to go ahead and go over some of those hot real estate careers for you to help you decide which way you want to go. Now, ladies, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to say yes. I'm pretty sure throughout your career, you've had at least, I'm going to say 5 people come up to you and say, what do I need to do to get into real estate?
Yes.
Right?
That's a minimum number.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I'm being nice.
I'm just about to say, you have some coming up to you. You have some DMing you,
Instagram,
you have some
Facebook.
emailing.
It's all over.
Yeah.
You get it all over. But we're going to go over some of those hot real estate careers when we come back from commercial. So don't move.
All right, welcome back to Red Door Conversations, Real Talk and Realty. We got a hot show today. We got a hot one today.
Yes, we do.
We are talking about hot real estate careers other than a realtor, being a realtor.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
And so I want to jump right into this because we've got some exceptional guests on the show, and I want them to share all of their expertise with our viewers who may have asked themselves, how do I get into real estate? Mm-hmm. But maybe I don't want to be a realtor. Our first guest is Miss Deborah Plowden. Deborah is an accredited staging professional and owner of Debonair Home Staging and Redesign. You can find more information about her at www.debonairhomestaging.com. And Deborah, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me today.
Absolutely. So we got some questions. We got a ton of questions. We're going to jump right in. A lot of people again, want to get into real estate, but maybe they haven't thought about being a designer or home stager. And so I really want you, if you could, speak to the difference between, a designer and a home stager.
Well, a designer does just that. They design a home specifically for the homeowner. So a home stager is more of a marketer. So what we're actually doing is we are helping to market the property to a mass amount of people. So we're not taking into consideration the personal aspect of what the homeowner would like. So we are really behind the scenes marketers, and we help the homeowner. We help the real estate agent to get the home sold. So that's what we do.
That's good. You know what? I'm glad you put it that way. Short, simple, very easy to digest. We were just talking about this, and I guilty as charged, said, well, what's the difference between a home stager and a designer? I mean, aren't they the same? But no, you're right. As a marketer, you're wanting to, give
appeal to the masses.
Yes. Whereas on the designer side, you really are thinking about the person's personal taste. So Thank you, Deborah. That was very good. So we're speaking today about how to get into different real estate careers. So can you tell us a little bit about what it would take for someone to become a home stager?
Honestly, there is no industry standards, but the industry is working to change that. So really, technically, a person could start just saying that they're a home stager, but I would caution against that because there are a couple of accreditations that are out there to get a person into the industry. And there's several of those that you could take. And the accreditation will give you the business aspect of home staging, and also gives you the confidence in knowing what it takes, because like a lot of people, they are designers and they want to be stagers, and it's a little bit different. Like I just said earlier, it's not going in and making everything that looks to suffice for the homeowner. When we are staging, we are actually watching the traffic patterns that are inside the home. We're making it look bigger because everyone wants to move up in size and style and status when they're buying a home. So we are making that home look bigger, or as big as we can. We're taking away, negating anything that is negative about the home. And we're negating that by using some of the furnishings and the decor and accessories that we have.
So, oh my goodness, such good stuff. So you want to make the home look bigger. You want to make it appeal to a lot of people. You want to take away anything that may be negative. Maybe there's something that's an eyesore in a property and you can stage around it. Am I right in saying that?
Exactly.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I have one more question and I'll let someone else, one of my lovely co-hosts talk, because this is so good, Deborah. Thank you. So you said you don't have to get licensed to become a stager, but it helps to have accreditation. Are there any classes or any specific training that you would recommend for anyone watching the show that they consider if they're thinking about a career in staging?
Yes, there are a few companies that I would recommend. One is stagedhomes.com. And the other one is Stage and Studio. I do have an accreditation from both of those, and the training is phenomenal, great training. And I definitely, like I said, you don't have to, but I would steer you in that direction to definitely get some training. And if anyone has any questions about that, or they need to understand which direction to go, or they just want to bounce some ideas off of me of which one of those to look into, I'd be more than happy to help. I also want to say, even though this question wasn't asked, but I want to say this. I'm also the diversity director of the International Association of Home Staging Professionals. Excellent. And we're looking to get more brown and Black women or men of color into this industry. And so it started in February, so we're launching this. So we are looking to actually start going into some of the colleges and try to recruit people of brown and Black color into this industry.
Did you have a question for her? Because I'm like, I have so many questions in my head. I'm just like, they're all dancing around right now. Deborah, how long have you been in this business?
I've been accredited for 5 years now.
Okay.
This is my 6th year.
My question was, in terms of, you mentioned earlier about making sure that the home appeals to the masses. In doing that, would you say that a stager would need to be prepared to keep up with the trends?
That was,
at one time, I won't say who. At one time, everybody was using these dark, deep colors and things like that, and now people are neutralizing gray.
Yes,
As a stager, would you say that you would need to keep up with what's going on?
Mm-hmm. The trends are what actually is attracting the buyers to that property. Like, I could not go stage, and I'm not going to offend anyone because I am a grandma, but I cannot go and stage with my grandma's furniture and put it in a home and expect to attract today's buyers, because today's buyers, that's not what they're looking at and not what they want. Actually, HGTV came on the scene, and when it came on the scene, it's what people expect. They want to see that when they go into a home. So yes, definitely. A good stager will keep up with the trends and will change in and out their furnishings or their accessories, whatever. So yes.
One last question. I know y'all kill
Okay.
me. We're gonna run out of time, but this is good. Deborah, what are some of the hot trends right now? If someone's thinking about getting into staging, they probably want to know what's hot if they're on target and understanding what's hot and trending.
Right now, trending is a lot of, as far as colors, your neutral colors, which is going to be your black and your whites. Grays are actually going off right now, even though everyone's still there. Grays are going away. Yes, slowly but surely. Whites are coming in. Another trending color are your cool colors, which are your blues and your greens, and those type colors are cool colors. But eventually those are going to trend out, and then we'll be going back to our warmer colors. So our browns, our yellows, and those costs.
Yeah.
So
Deborah, I have a question. To stage a home that is about 2,500 square feet, what is your fee for that?
that's always the million-dollar question.
Absolutely. You're not going to get off that easy.
Right.
So I'm going to say this. We normally preview the home so that we can see what we're bringing in. Because if you say 2,500 square feet, that kind of may not mean much to me. Because I don't know if it's, you know, how big the living area is, how big the kitchen's going to be, how big of a table I have to bring in. Am I seating 6? Am I seating 8? Am I seating, 4? Or how big that may be. And it definitely can't go by price with my company because I went to a home yesterday, $400,000. It's very, very small time.
Deborah, hold that thought. We have to go to commercial break. When we return, I want you to let the viewers know how you break down your costs. This is Lisa White with Red Door Conversations. We'll be right back. Don't you guys move. Thank you for staying with Red Door Conversations. My name is Lisa White, and before we left for the break, we were talking with Miss Deborah Plowden, and she's with Debonair Home Staging. And we asked Miss Deborah, for a 2,500 square foot home, what is her fee? And I'm going to let her finish. Miss Deborah, take it away.
So we run on a term of 60 days. So I would give an average between 1,800 to 2,500 on a 25 square foot home. But we do, like I said a little earlier, we do want to see the home to see exactly what we're coming in. So that's just a range. I would have to give a specific quote. That's what we do, personalized quote.
Got it. Okay.
Got it. So guys, we have more professionals here for you. As we told you when Tana opened the show. Next up, we have with us a real estate instructor. And her name is Zelda Kane. She is the broker of A to Z Real Estate Consultants. Zelda is also a member of TRETA, which is the Texas Real Estate Teachers Association. And she teaches approved certification courses as well as designation courses for the National Association of Realtors, the Texas Association of Realtors, and also the Houston Association of Realtors.
Sounds like Ms. Zelda is busy.
She is busy, and Zelda knows her stuff, honey.
Yes, she
Well, I want to
does.
hear it. Where's she at?
She does
So
know her
with,
stuff.
yes, with no further ado, I welcome you, Miss Zelda Kane. Are you there? Thanks for joining us.
I am here. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited just to be a part.
Awesome, awesome. So I guess my question to you is, because, we're talking about people coming into real estate. They don't necessarily want to be a realtor or real estate agent, I should say, but they do want to do other things. So as far as becoming an instructor, first of all, how long have you been a instructor?
I was first approved through TREC, Texas Real Estate Commission, back in 2006. And so I've been teaching real estate classes since 2006. Started off teaching core classes with one of our local real estate schools. And from there, I decided that I wanted to work more with realtors that were already seasoned as opposed to those that are coming into the profession, and decided to go and start teaching the certification and designation classes.
So let's talk in terms a little bit more about, you mentioned core classes, you mentioned certification, designation. Can you break down what those things mean?
Sure. So core classes are the classes that you have to take in order to get your license. So there are certain classes, there's a certain number of hours that you have to have. And please don't ask me how many, because I don't remember off the top of my head. I can research it and tell you, but there are a certain number of hours that you have to have in order to get your license. And so those are called your core classes. And then there are what's called SAE classes. So once you've gotten your license, during your first 2 years, you've got to have your SAE classes. And so your SAE classes are classes that help you to learn more about your craft and to better equip you to work in the field and to understand real estate and working with clients. And once you've gotten your your SAE classes, after your first 2 years, then you have to have your CE classes, which is continuing education classes, through, and you get those every 2 years. And so there are classes such as, well, I won't go into the types of classes, but your certification classes are classes that give you different skill sets to work with buyers and to work with sellers. Mm-hmm. Then you have designation classes, which take you up a little bit higher and educate you a little bit more in the field that you're choosing to work in. Some of them can be specific towards a certain niche, and then some of them can be just general classes as well.
Okay. Now, what prompted you to want to become an instructor?
That's a great question, Marla. So working in the field and working with agents and sitting across the table and dealing with contracts coming in from agents, I just saw that agents just really did not understand what they were doing. Not properly knowing how to complete contracts, not properly understanding, that amendment comes after the contract has been executed, an addendum comes along with the contract originally, not understanding the forms, the documents, and things of that nature. And so I felt that I would be able to, if I went into the classroom, I could spend a little bit more time helping to educate those who were in the field or who were wanting to be a part of the field, and understanding what they should be doing in the proper way to not only just work with the client in buying or selling a home, but also to work with their peers, as fellow realtors as well.
Wow. Zelda has preached a whole sermon.
She really has. Especially when she said, what comes after the one-to-four family contract? Right. What comes after that?
That's a whole sermon.
Yes. I told you.
A struggle.
Zelda Kane is a powerhouse, honey.
Oh, yes.
Powerhouse.
Yes.
So, Zelda, let me ask this question. You're a broker. If someone were coming into the industry and let's say they said, you know what, I'm not a salesperson, I don't want to sell, but I'm more of a teacher. What would your advice be to that person? Must they acquire their real estate license first in order to be an instructor? Do they have to be a broker? Tell us about that.
So it's not necessary to have your real estate license to be a real estate instructor. It's not necessary to have even worked in the field to be a real estate instructor. So there are people that actually have real estate schools that don't have real estate license.
That's a little scary, Zelda.
That's very scary because I feel like in order to teach, you need to know. So
but here's the deal. That real estate school is a business. And so I can see that. I can see you not needing your real, because it's a business. They are running a business.
But how are they able to actually break it down and talk
but
about
you hire someone that does.
That's true.
Well, what is your recommendation, Zelda? Would you?
Yeah, because we're going to be talking.
Let's see what
Would you recommend someone to become an instructor without having a license? What have you seen?
And be honest.
I personally don't see in terms of real estate how a person can actually teach real estate classes and do it effectively if they've not practiced real estate in general. There are so many different experiences. Every buyer, every seller is totally different. And so in order to work with them properly and to know the types of forms, documents that are needed and required even to go along with that transaction, if you haven't had to use those documents and they're changing all the time, then how do you know what's needed to be included? If a person, how do you know that you need to include a sewer document, or that you even need to use a MUD document? A lot of people don't even understand how to use that MUD document and which one of those jurisdictions you should check off and things of that nature. And so without being in the field, how are you able to really relate to the person, the realtor that's actually out there trying to get their license for the first time?
Let me be the devil's advocate. It's realtors that don't know how to fill out that MUD form. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is there are some that have real estate degrees. They've gone and received 4-year degrees. Now, those people can teach. They can teach. So they're not realtors, but they have a real estate degree. So you still don't think that person should be teaching either?
I think you need to have some level of experience.
So you guys
it's like being a driver. Like you're going to instruct someone to drive a car. Well, if you've never driven a car,
if you've gone and you have a 4-year,
you took a lot of long trips.
you guys guys, y'all been in the industry a while, so there's biases there.
There's
because,
bias.
because here's the deal.
It's
Think of that
justifiable
person.
bias.
Think of that person. Think of that person that has gone and got that 4-year degree and is now ready to pursue a career, but they're not being hired because they don't have any experience.
Well, okay,
this
just
is
like any other job. They need to go get an apprenticeship or need to learn somehow on the job before they start teaching other people.
Got it. Okay.
So Zelda, my last question is this. Last question is, you mentioned, I wanted to know about, you mentioned about the SAE courses and continuing education. Do you have to have continuing education for as far as being an instructor?
As far as being an instructor, there are classes that we call ITI classes, so it's additional training that we take. Then we are also, so first of all, let me go back. No, it is not required as an instructor. So there was a time when TREC was licensing instructors, and when TREC was licensing instructors, then there were certain requirements that were put in place. The Sunset Committee came along and said that TREC was approved to license realtors, but they did not feel that TREC was credentialed to be able to license instructors. And so now they've put it on the entity that's hiring the instructor to make the determination or to set the precedent as to what that instructor is supposed to have and what is required of them to be able to teach for them. And so there is no set guideline that instructors have to follow or that institutions that offer real estate classes have to follow in hiring instructors and the credentials that's required. So that's based on each individual school or entity that's offering the classes.
Okay, well, thank you so very much. We got a lot just in that nugget.
We really did.
We need to go to a quick commercial break though, but stay tuned. We'll be right back. We have more good information for you.
Welcome back to Red Door Conversations, Real Talk and Real Tea. For those of you who missed the show, and if you're just now joining us, we are talking about hot real estate careers. So we've been having different guests come on and, talk about their career and how they got started. And now we're going to bring on Debbie Beckford. Debbie is a real estate broker in South Florida. She has been in the business for 15 years, and she has a company by the name of D-Rocks Mobile Signing Services, LLC. Debbie, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump right on in because we are just crunched for time. Now, what we want to know, Debbie, is how did you get started in becoming a signing agent?
Well, honestly, a lot of careers, as we know, came out of the pandemic. We hate to even say the word.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started prior to that, but I saw the need at the time. That was an easy company as a real estate professional. That was easy to get into. So right. I already was a certified, a commissioned notary. So all you needed at that point, I already know loan documents. So I jumped right into just looking at what it takes to create the business. And I realized that it was a great potential as far as earning funds. So it was an easy business to start as a professional.
And speaking of earning funds, what is the income potential with being a mobile signer?
It's totally up to the individual because it's like, I would refer to it as the Uber of loan signing. So you basically take as much signings as you get alerted, signs all the time. So I know I have done part-time 50,000, but there's people making 6 figures easily.
Wow.
You think
you gotta switch?
Wait a minute. I'm like, that's part-time. Like, wait a minute now.
That's some people's salary, yearly salary.
Right. I'm like, that's part-time. My goodness.
That's part-time.
Wow. That is incredible. Debbie, real quick, what would you tell our viewers, for those that's considering becoming a mobile signer, how can they get started with getting into this business and make 6 figures?
Well, if they're really serious about it, they just have to hone in on the information that's available to them. A really good place to start is the National Notary Association. Now that of course applies to state across the board, but every state have their different, criteria. But National Notary Association, they basically, a plethora of information. So you need to be commissioned. So you need to, of course, background, all of that need to be clean. And there's fees involved for like educating yourself more, getting certified as far as a background check, background clearance, getting your company licensed, bonded. That just gives you a leg up on the competition to show that you're serious about your business. And then, of course, you make a lot of networking with signing companies. Just put yourself out there if you're serious about it, because you can make as much as you want or as little as you want.
That's very true. Very, very true. Well, Debbie, again, we want to thank you for coming on our show and for giving the information that you have given to our viewers. I'm sure someone is going to take that and run with it. Guys, thank you. It's been another great show here at Red Door Conversations, Real Talk and Real Tea. And we look forward to coming back and giving you guys some more good information on our next show. You have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.